So the rocks also work as condensation generators, because what happens with earth mass, like a rock, it, let's see if I can get myself in the picture here a little bit too for you. Not that I'm anything to look at, but sometimes it helps. It's just with, I don't know, communication. So the rocks being above the ground, the cold air that comes down through this area would get settled into this dish, right? And so it would cool those rocks as cold as they're basically going to get if if they're inside the ground, they're insulated, so they're going to get cold if they're brought to the surface. And so when it warms up in the morning air that's coming across it is warmer than the rock, and so the rock becomes a condensator, and it pulls moisture out of the air, and it makes it drip down to the bottom side of the rock. I mean, if you've ever like flipped rocks over, they're usually damp at the bottom. Well, and then plants, they like that dampness, so they can use it to grow, right? And so condensation generators happen by just bringing rocks to the surface, stacking them up, and we can plant along the bottoms of them. And it also helps if whenever you gotta pee, you go over and you pee on it. Not right on it, not all of your urine in one spot, but paint over the whole area, and that helps the ground. I mean, it really does. It's natural for the people and the animals to live on the ground, to be pooping on the ground. But the number of people we have living in one spot, it wouldn't be good if everybody's pooping on the ground. So we have toilets, and it gets carried away to a treatment plant that gets turned into fertilizers, right? So anyway, in nature, if you just bury your poop, it's the perfect solution to it, because it doesn't use any water to be able to carry it away to all the way down to the plant. Do you know where your plant is? Do you know how many miles your poop is having to be carried to get to that plant? And luckily, it's being done mostly by gravity, not by people anymore. Because we've learned from the past, and we've been able to implement some things that really make sense. Like rocks. Okay, like how long do you think that rock's gonna last? I mean, I'm thinking way longer than I am, or this body. I mean, this is just a flesh suit that we wear, but I think that this rock is probably going to be around longer than this. I got seeds in my pocket or in my hand. It should be in my pocket. So why aren't we building houses out of rocks? Because you can take rocks and you can glue them together with concrete, and you can make concrete with sand and lye and water and rocks. And castles have been here for thousands of years, and maybe sometimes a rock falls off, or a little rock falls out. Well, then somebody comes by with some concrete, and they go and they fix it, and it's good for another 1,000 years. But the houses that we're living in, many of them within like 50 years of building it, you've got to do a new roof, you've got to do new plumbing, or maybe you didn't have to do new plumbing, but you didn't really like the way the contractor did it the first time, so you redid the upstairs, or you redid the whole thing. I've seen a lot of people do that. I was a plumber for quite some time, and it's funny how many houses I've worked on, and then worked on again, and worked on again, because people just want to change their mind. But they want to stay in one spot. They want to stay at the same address, but they want to experience all these different things. So anyway, that's why we put rocks on top of the seeds. And besides, having a smiley face is kind of cool. Somebody's going to come by and go, what the hell is a smiley face doing there for? And only the apricot seed knows.